Thanks for joining me to this video. In this video, I'll be quickly discussing live-in caregivers and changing your jobs. Is this allowed? Can you do it? Etc. The simple answer is yes, it is allowed. Basically, when you switch your employer, you want to ensure a few things that you keep for record from your previous employer, and also what you need to do to change that employer. When you change the employer, on your work permit it says not only the job title as a live-in caregiver, but it also indicates your employer, the duration, and so forth. When you do that change, you would have to do another labor market impact assessment. Essentially, the new employer has to go through the exact same steps as the previous employer had to do. Until you don't have an exact work permit that states the new employer, you cannot start working for that new employer. So before you make that switch, make sure that your current employer is aware that you're switching employment, and also your prospective employer has an approved labor market impact assessment, and you have an approved work permit which indicates your new employer. Now, very important to keep certain things from your previous employer because it will come to use when you apply for permanent residency. One of these main important piece of documents is the record of employment. The record of employment essentially is a history of your record of employment with your past employer. The reason why I say this now is because when you switch employments, you may lose touch with your previous employer, and when you're ready to file your permanent residency application, the employer may not be cooperative, you may have lost touch, you may no longer have their contact information, and so forth. The record of employment should indicate why you're leaving. It could be for personal reasons, it could be whatever it may be, it needs to be indicated why you've left the previous employer. Definitely has to mention how many hours you have worked, what was your gross earnings, and what was your total salary from the time that you started till the time that you have left. Again, I emphasize this because this document, this record of employment, is essential to your permanent residency application. So you want to keep that with yourself. If you can ask your employer, the one that you're leaving, for an employment reference letter, that would be fantastic because you can include that as well in your employment, in your permanent residency application. So anything like that you want to keep. Also, make sure that throughout the process, throughout your employment with either of these employers, you want to keep your pay stubs and so forth. Anything that demonstrates your record of employment will not only help with your prospective employer, but it definitely will help with your permanent residency application. I hope that helped. If you have any further questions, always feel free to call us. And remember, at Live-in Associates, there's always a way.